Let's switch gears, guys, to early acquisition grades. So the Mets acquired 6 players at the trade deadline, not flashy names, but they've all contributed since joining the team. While their tenure with the team is still early, we would like to get you to grade their performances so far. So, Tim, I'll start with you. I want your grade for Huáscar Brosabon. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's probably a B so far. He had the one outing in, I think it was Anaheim, where it didn't go well for him. He's pitched well otherwise, pitched really well on Saturday in Seattle. The Mets really like what his changeup does. They're trying to figure out how often he can throw that. I think the question for Brazaban is he a guy who's going to pitch in the fifth and sixth inning of close games, or is he the guy who's going to pitch in the seventh and eighth inning? Right now, it's more early in the game, but he can pitch himself into some bigger spots if he continues to pitch well.
Yeah. Okay, Dani, what's your grade for Paul Blackburn?
I was like, okay, which way is Tim going to go? Is he going to give A, B, C, D, E, F? Like, what kind of grades? Is he going to go 1 through 10? What grades was he going to give? Paulie B for me, I'm going to give him a B plus right now because I still feel like he's got more to give for the New York Mets. I feel like in his own appearances so far, I think he's got 12 strikeouts through 2 games. And this is a guy who's known, he knows how to compete. He came over from Oakland. Like, he knows how to get things done. He's giving them some length. He's giving them some confidence. So I'm going to go B plus for Paulie B.
All right, B plus, I like it. Tim, Ryan Stanek, what's your grade for him?
Yeah, I think this is the one that hasn't quite worked out yet for the Mets, so probably a C or C minus with Stanek. He had a rough outing on Sunday in Seattle as that game kind of got out of hand in the sixth inning. And this is a guy who, with the Mariners earlier in the year, was pitching high leverage innings, was a setup man for Andres Munoz late in games. Seattle found him expendable when they added to their bullpen. The Mets want to be able to construct this bridge to Edwin Diaz that includes Stanek and Phil Maton and Jose Buto and Daniel Nunez when he's back healthy, Reed Garrett. Like, they want to have all these different options, and Stanek hasn't proven yet that he can join them.
Yeah, Tim mentioned Phil Maton. Dani, what's your grade for him?
Yeah, I like Maton. I like what he's done. Batting average against is 179. He's only given up 1 home run, and I think he's a part of the whole, right? I like what he's done. I'm supposed to give a letter here. I'm gonna go B minus so far. I will say the combination of all these arms, while not sexy, Chelsea, you mentioned that they have improved the bullpen. Last month they have been better. They've been a top 10 relief corps. So I'll go B minus again. Still room to grow, but I like what he's done so far.
Okay, Tim, last one for you, Jesse Winker.
I think this is probably a C plus at this point. Winker's hit the ball hard. He's probably deserved better results than he's gotten. But, you get the better grades when you actually get the results on the field. I've been a little bit surprised when they acquired Winker. I thought he was going to start every game against right-handed pitching until Starling Marte came back. That hasn't been the case yet. They've opted to play some Tyrone Taylor in the outfield for defense. So I think he's still trying to get his legs under him as an irregular player, not as a guy who's playing every day as he was with the Nationals. And that could take some getting used to. It might get more complicated when Marte comes back. That adds another option in the outfield. But I think he's a guy who should be able to build a little bit on what he's done so far.
Yeah. And here's a bonus for you both. Dani, I'll come to you first. Do you think David Stearns regrets not making more definitive decisions, whether that be to be a buyer or a seller at the trade deadline?
No regrets, Chelsea. No regrets. No, I don't. I feel like this is kind of what David Stearns does. And he finds some diamonds in the rough, guys that are doing a good job, that are playing consistently, that don't cost you a lot. Because let's remember, at the end of the day, the Mets want to build their farm system. They have been adamant about that for years now, that they want to continue to grow in that space and have those homegrown guys coming up and being a part of the Mets in the future. And so for what he got and how he added, and man, if you look at the transaction page for the Mets, he's been adding and subtracting a lot. I'm okay with it. I don't think he has regrets because, again, this team constructed coming into this year, I think everyone can really agree it was a 500 team, maybe a little bit better. Did not expect them to be a half game out of the National League wildcard race right now.
Yeah. Tim, what do you think? Any regrets?
I think the way David Stearns' career has gone, that he's not a guy who builds his decisions off of what's happened over the last 12 days or so. He's more of a 12-month, 12-year guy. So I don't think he's looking at this in any kind of short-term view. A lot of these moves were made with an idea of what they could do next year or what they're protecting for next year as well. And so I don't think he's even started the evaluation process on them quite yet.